Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video. This is North Star Reactions and Reviews and my name is Matthew. I know that it's been about 2 weeks since I last posted a recent video to the channel. I want to offer my apologies to you as my subscribers and viewers of the channel. I had been dealing with a lot of personal stuff over the last 2 weeks. Not all of it is bad, but some of it is a little too personal to go into detail here on the channel. On one hand, I did celebrate a birthday just this past Friday and into the weekend, and then I've been working a lot more at my full-time job and just dealing with a lot of other personal stuff here at home. So I just haven't had a chance to record any new videos as of late. And I also did not get a chance to explain myself beforehand. It was all completely unexpected, and I apologize for my absence on YouTube and for the lack of new content for the channel. But I do have some time today, so I figured I'd go ahead and go record a new video for you guys and just try to work my way back into the swing of things. We will be continuing our Criminal Minds reaction series. We have 3 episodes left. Beginning with this one, Season 1, Episode 20, and then we have Episode 21 and Episode 22. And that'll be the end for Season 1 of Criminal Minds. I had planned on finishing this a couple weeks ago, but like I said, with everything else going on, I just never got a chance to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on finishing out now. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I do. And again, I apologize for the lack of new content. I'm working on getting everything scheduled, and I will be trying to post more frequently for you. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and let's go ahead and get started with Season 1, Episode 20 of Criminal Minds. Enjoy.
Scotch. That's what we're missing. I was really hoping you'd get your appetite back.
How
You
ominous.
need to eat.
Ooh.
What?
There they are.
We've only been here an hour. You've made 2 calls.
And?
You hate the phone, huh?
I don't hit the phone.
Actually, you do.
A matter of hours. Common knowledge.
Why are you acting so weird?
We're sitting with a guy who knows that there are 800 kernels of corn on the average cob. Phone, that's all you got? That's your best? You've been a profiler for how long, Derek? And that's weak. That's weak.
Something's going on.
Nothing. See, you just denied it.
Do you?
FBI Tampa has been investigating a series of murders over the past 2 months along Florida's Central Gulf Coast.
Consulted with the SAC down there. They had a strong lead.
And DNA evidence
Serial killer get away. How long has he been missing?
of about 36 hours, along with this woman, Nicole Wagner.
What do we know about the other victims?
They were all abducted within a 60-mile radius.
Geographical area, and he's killing in hotels instead of private controlled environments.
Well, he can pay for privacy in a hotel room.
Let's just hope he's not heading for Orlando. It's second only to Las Vegas in the number of hotel rooms.
She's on the run.
And if Gregory feels like he's got nothing to lose.
Got the whole country ahead of them.
Great. It's not often they know who their target is beforehand. They usually have to figure that out later.
The French philosopher Voltaire wrote, "There are some that only employ words for
From FSU, started his own real estate company with a business partner 5 years ago. He frequently travels for work around the country, sometimes overseas.
He worked as a staff photographer for a couple of magazines along the Central Coast before transitioning to work with models in Miami.
So when he uses his credit cards or goes to his house or work, then they've got him.
If he does any of those things.
When they were submerged, they could feel their lungs filling up with water. It's an extremely painful way to die.
Why would he take the time? They were barely alive after all the torture.
Mark Gregory lives. Please continue.
We were just discussing grounding as a cleansing ritual.
If we look back into Gregory's childhood, we may find what he needs to purge. You think that's the best use of our time?
Whether we go back further ahead of them, we might get.
Were you able to connect Gregory to all 4 victims? He had a previous relationship with the first woman he killed.
we can look into that as a possible stressor.
Second and third were acquaintances from business deals.
Hopefully, we'll find Gregory before we have to.
So if we split up, we'll cover more ground. Does he still have family in the area?
His dad's close by.
Well, he's gonna want an update. I'll catch up with her.
Good, let's meet back here in 2 hours. If he's following a previous pattern, we have less than 12 hours to find a co-worker alive.
Mr. Bloomberg.
Not a lot of time, but they can do it.
FBI. Things you might not think are important could actually be helpful.
Well, I don't know why he disappeared. You sure you got the right guy?
Usually when someone takes off, it gives us reason to be suspicious.
Well, I've never noticed any odd behavior.
What about his relationship with women?
Mark's a consummate ladies' man. Always had a different woman on his arm. Never had a problem getting a date.
Yes, well, dating doesn't do it for him. He likes to torture and drown them.
Before I met him.
Do you know if she's still in the area?
Wait a minute, you think he did something to his ex-wife?
We're looking for what
possible.
we call a stressor. What?
I bet Gregory's been killing a lot longer than we think, long before he disappeared.
It's a really large house with hardly any furniture. It's at least 10 years old.
Where are the dogs?
That is a good question.
Uniform. Wide assortment of watches, wallets, approximately 20 different pairs of shoes.
And all his driver's licenses and properties.
Probably reinvents himself with each deal he makes, you know, plays a different role.
This is up to impress a rich investor.
Inside, this house seems clean and shiny, you know, but it's like it's all for show, like it's a facade to hide what's really going on.
That's exactly what it is.
What do you think he needs these for?
Probably has something to do with this. Someone's trying to disguise himself.
Uh-oh.
Was everything okay? My porterhouse was juicy and rare, just the way I like it. But my wife was...
There's the guy they're looking for.
Mark Gregory was such a bad boy. Had an intense affection for ladies with learner permits.
Oh, that sounds like statutory rape. I'm not surprised. You talked to Hodge?
Yeah, it turns out his marriage lasted only 23 days. Her boy's got serious commitment issues. And
At least she got out alive.
Emptied his bank accounts and he's put his dogs in a kennel. We're certain he's left the area and he's not coming back. And since he's on the run, this classifies him as a spree killer.
Usually this type of killer goes through 2 phases.
That's right, and we're hoping he's still there.
In the guided phase, they usually have a final destination in mind.
Like Edmund Kemper and Andrew Cunanan, they save their most meaningful kills till last.
As he devolves, he's going to take more victims and become less noticeable.
What does that mean?
In Gregory's case, his MO is the torture. That would mean
After that, there's no telling where he'll be.
we'll get it released out to all the major networks. His face, possible disguises will be all over the country by dinner time.
So he went all the way from Florida to Georgia, crossing many state lines, I'm
Just
assuming.
landed in Georgia. They'll be at the hotel in about 20 minutes. Now that he's crossed state lines, it's a nationwide search. He doesn't want to get caught, so he'll probably alter his route and drive quieter roads.
Prepare for that, too.
These records indicate that he went to high school in 4 different states.
So, if he doesn't want us to catch him, then what's he doing? Taunting us?
No, taunting would imply that this is some sort of game. It isn't. He's made it very clear that he has no intention of going back to his life as it was. This is a one-way trip. Ash.
That type of money, he could charter a plane or...
400 grand in cash. Wow.
he's not hiding, he's hunting.
Besides, driving works for him. It's anonymous and he can cover a lot of territory.
Wow, Mark Gregory splurges on hotel rooms, doesn't he? Grew up in Tampa, drove her all the way to Georgia. But unlike his other victims, there was no type of relationship that linked the two of them.
A random victim with a whole life ahead of her.
So what if he preyed on this woman's vanity? He's a photographer, he offers her a professional modeling career.
Well, if he has a legitimate website.
It's a matter of time before he finds himself another victim.
So he posed as a photographer this time to get his last victim. Wonder what he's gonna do next. Oh, there he is. Looks like he's posing as a pilot this time.
Looking for Gregory's ex-wife?
You found it.
Yeah, still in Sunshine State. Settled down in Bradenton.
Pick her up.
Still in shock.
That's understandable.
I'm more surprised that you found me.
Have you been in hiding because you were afraid he would come after you?
You stalked me for a few years after the annulment. I had to disappear if I wanted to survive.
I know it was a long time ago, but
I couldn't leave the house.
I'm sorry to dredge all this up, but you've definitely helped us understand him. He dated his first victim, and if she cheated on him, it may have been the thing that started him killing.
He's able to gain his victim's trust before inflicting pain upon them. This is most likely derived from an incredible amount of self-awareness.
Mark has mastered the art of manipulation. We moved around a lot when Mark was growing up. Call home.
Well, we lived here the longest. Even consider Florida.
He sees something.
I'm sorry.
How old was Mark when that happened?
10.
His mother
She
died.
was his mother.
Typically, when a child loses a mother,
Because you and Mark were close?
Yes.
Any reason he would have blamed his mother for her death? Was she
No.
drinking and driving,
No.
falling asleep at a wheel, anything?
No, nothing like that. Are you telling me that young boys aren't curious?
Sure, they're curious, but not all that peek in the windows.
Oh.
What about the statutory rape charge?
Oh, no, this is Grace Church.
Mark ever have to take responsibility for anything?
Look, what do you say? That being a protective parent is turned my child into a killer?
Based on these interviews, it looks like the first victim wasn't being unfaithful. She had a husband and was trying to keep it secret.
Got a ticket.
There must have been another reason for him to dump it there.
guys, I know he ruled out flying, but it's hard to ignore the fact his last known location was a place that literally had thousands of international flights a day.
You know he was in there.
Knowing what he looks like has got to be some advantage to us.
It is. I'm uploading to you right now.
Thanks. She seemed like his type. Yeah. He's looking for the easiest target. He doesn't have time to waste.
As you can see in the footage, he's been able to access uniforms. Most likely, he'll use those of authority to try and evoke a feeling of safety. Has credentials. He was a photographer in Miami for years. He's well-traveled and conducts business throughout the southern United States. Male.
He takes a lot of great care with his disguises.
Let's review what we know. Gregory will continue to drown. The question is, why does he have to?
And suggest a release of the old is necessary to emerge and begin anew.
So, there's something he's trying to purge or cleanse by...
I really don't know someone till you take a road trip with them.
What are you trying to say?
Look at this car, man. There's empty soda cans and fast food wrappers everywhere.
Oh, that must be the boyfriend.
Yes, it is. Hey, Gideon. Uh-huh. Okay.
Feels like we're driving from body to body.
Yeah, well, we know that South Carolina is part of his business route. So he's probably going back to what he knows.
So, that's new.
See something?
No, I was just thinking about the information we released about Mark Gregory at the press conference.
What about it?
Well, we described him as someone who's engaging, confident, poses as people with authority, but you would think that we pushed him to change what he's doing.
To what?
Maybe he's not using a simple ruse anymore.
He could alter his appearance so he's barely recognizable.
So he's gone from Florida to Georgia to South Carolina now, crossing many state lines in between.
Must have something to do with how he views his victims.
Well, if he doesn't know these women, maybe he thinks that they're not worthy or dirty. You the manager?
Yes, you wanted to see me?
Yeah. Do you recognize this man? Well, given the lividity, I'd say she died right before that.
Did you happen to see what he was driving?
Yeah, one of those black SUVs.
That's the victim's car from the Atlanta airport. Did you notice if it had Georgia plates?
Switching plates.
Can you get us those numbers, please?
Sure, I'll be right back.
Thank you. there's the pilot's uniform.
Well, we know his identity. We know he likes to use disguises, and he doesn't care about leaving them. And that's torture. I mean, if he shocked her over and over again, then she must have died.
If the cause of death was a wet drowning, the only way he could have done that was something. And now he's probably got himself another one.
He's moving faster.
Who's the answer to all your dreams?
I'm gonna put you on speaker.
Oh, you completely suck. Hospital records show Dr. Spencer Reed. Honey, that's exactly what the rest of the hospital record says. Now, I did some more digging. I found an article in the Polk County paper describing the crash.
What did it say?
Well, the headline reads that Elizabeth Gregory died in the crash, but...
What else is keeping from us?
This guy is very, very good at what he does.
You know, actually, I would like a little help. Thank you.
Come here to look at pictures of my son. Did something happen?
Why are there no memories of your wife here?
Why would I want to remind my son of the most horrible thing that ever happened?
Their personal effects untouched, sometimes for years. You didn't happen to do that.
Why didn't you tell us your son was in the car when your wife died?
I didn't think it was important. No.
The fact that he witnessed his mother die at such a young age clearly affected how he regards women.
Do you know why your son was married for such a short period of time?
Yes, it was a mistake.
Oh, but he made life unbearable for her. She couldn't leave the house. She couldn't take a breath without worrying about it.
Something must have happened to feed that distrust.
What's he hiding?
Distorted view of relationships.
I'll catch her in the act.
All right. Enough. Stop. When she couldn't find a babysitter, she would... What kind of mother would do that?
You ever taken a therapy, Mr. Gregory?
No.
Why?
I didn't think he needed it.
Didn't think he needed it?
No.
Boy watches his mother die.
His issues with infidelity, his hatred towards women, and now why he tortures and drowns them. His first victim was married. She was having an affair with him, which...
If you even know what I'm talking about.
Well, I had my suspicions.
Well, your son did what you thought about doing 100 times. These are innocent women, Mr. Gregory. Ever occurred to you? And again, and again. Help us, Mr. Gregory. Help us.
You do know that Doug Gregory isn't the killer, right?
Yes, I know that. But he protected one. Now at least 6 women are dead because of it.
Boy, he's just going right for it this time. He's definitely devolving.
Can't be in the pool with your clothes on. Hey, man, you okay? Help me. My wife. He's on the force. Bush, you're not breathing. Please.
Oh, come on, guy. Put 2 and 2 together.
I'm doing the best that I can. Why don't you go call 911? Go call 911, man. Get it out. All right, there you go, honey. That's all right. You keep breathing. Hey, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Keep your breathing. There you go, honey. You all right?
Drownings the last couple of days?
Aaron, do you have any idea how many people drown every day?
Well, yeah. They're more in the summer for obvious reasons, but I think it averages at what, 6,500 a year, which is 17 a day?
Is this Reed?
What are you impressed? Garcia found a lead in Tennessee. Allison Glennon was snatched from a grocery store a couple hours ago and survived an attempted drowning in a motel pool.
Motel pool?
Hey, Gideon.
We think Mark's first victim was his mother.
You're saying a 10-year-old killed his own mom?
Well, it's a common theory that sons can fixate on their mothers since their mothers are their introduction to love.
He didn't know the father, but it reflected poorly onto the son.
Mark Gregory was a child, but he was old enough to understand what his mother was doing. He was protecting a weak, impotent, passive-aggressive father. There's a good chance he caused the car to crash.
Do you think the father knew his son was a murderer?
Yes.
That's why he's so overprotective of him.
We need to go through all the evidence from the car accident, absolutely everything.
News articles.
Oh, okay. See you then.
Anyway, when I got to the pool, he said he was going to call for help, and he just disappeared.
So you're thinking, why wouldn't I trust this guy? What kind of psycho would kill somebody in front of witnesses?
Yeah. And I've seen the news, but...
Might be in a hurry, but he's not looking to get caught.
Because he's not done killing yet.
Here's the police photo of the car Gregory's mother was killed in. Right there. See the water dripping from under the car?
We've got a possible abduction. Kelly Dalton, 28. Eyewitness saw her leaving a parking lot with a man who resembled Gregory. She was supposed to pick up her son. Never made it.
It was better when he had a ruse. At least that required a little planning.
Believed to have left the parking lot.
Now he's just grabbing at will.
So he's got a victim in a car. Now all he needs is the location.
Okay, there are 5 sources of water nearby.
What would cause a taller mother to drown and a smaller child to survive?
Car. His first kill was his most powerful. Well, at least we know where he's going.
Please, I have 2 boys. They need me. Shut up.
This is all your fault. Turn here.
He's losing it a little bit more.
Now, Gideon.
Well, she was smart to do that. Wow, he caught up quick.
Okay, it's okay.
Kelly Dalton's gonna be okay. Gregory's dead. Coming home.
Become disguised to ourselves.
That was season 1, episode 20 of Criminal Minds, and what a great episode to start back up with. Couple thoughts. This was the first episode where we had an unsub that really wasn't an unsub. They started off knowing exactly who he was, what he looked like, what he had done, and how he does it. So it was, right off the bat, it was a totally different type of case. They had a lot more information compared to usual cases where they have to start from the very beginning and then try to figure out who the unsub is and why he does what he does. This was different in the fact that they already knew that information. So it kind of gave them a little bit of an advantage, but not much, seeing as how they were called in a little late, and the unsub, Mark Gregory, had several hours head start, and he had crossed several state lines, going from Florida to Georgia to Tennessee and South Carolina, and all the states in between, which made it harder to get a lock on him, until there in the end when he was shot and killed in Tennessee. I think Gideon mentioned it in the episode where suicide by cop may be the only way that this ends, and he just so happened to be right about that. Next, it would be the first episode where we had an unsub use multiple ruses. At least this is the first episode that I can recall where an unsub would use multiple ruses and disguises to obtain a victim and to carry out what he had planned. He was very smart in doing so. He had a lot of time and a lot of resources to do that and to do it effectively, which is not easy. He had a lot of money, he had many disguises, he put a lot of detail into his ruses and his disguises to make it more and more convincing to those around him. And it worked until he started to devolve and unravel. And that's when he was just grabbing people at random and, you know, not taking any time with a ruse or a disguise. We saw that a little more towards the end of the episode. And the father suspected that he caused his mother's death, but he didn't want to believe it. So that must have been really hard for him. We saw a little bit of that towards the end of the episode as well. Especially when Gideon and Reed were questioning him a second time, and Gideon was going a little harder at him this time, trying to get him to see what his son had done and trying to get him to understand that his son was the cause of it all. But he just didn't want to believe it. And I mean, you can't blame a father for wanting to protect his son. You can't fault him for that. But at the same time, he had a sense of what was going on but didn't act upon it. So he probably felt a little guilty for that. These are just my thoughts. I'd love to know what you guys think. Go ahead and leave me a comment down in the comment section below. Like I said, this was a great episode to pick back up with, and again, I apologize for my absence over the last couple of weeks. I will try to go ahead and post more episodes in a frequent manner in the future, and I'll try to keep you guys informed of what I have planned and what's going on. Go ahead and please like, subscribe, and share this video any way you can. I would greatly appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, thank you for viewing. If you are a returning subscriber and viewer, thank you for being here as well. If you're not new to the channel, but you like what you see here and just on the channel in general, I would urge you to please consider subscribing. I will have some new content coming out in the next few weeks. I just have to get it all recorded, edited, and posted. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon for the next one.